Esoteric community, welcome back. I am Akashic the teacher, and welcome to the channel that's solely dedicated to the hidden meanings behind the scriptures. So today we are going behind the curtain again with yet another breakdown of scripture. This time we are breaking down the section of Jesus's Sermon on the Mount. Today's breakdown text will be from Matthew 5:38 and 39. And that reads 38, "You have heard it hath been said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth." 39, "But I say unto you, that ye resist not evil, but whoever shall smite thee on thy cheek, turn him the other also." Wow. Now, this is deep. On the surface, it would seem like that Jesus is telling you, let anyone do anything they want to you. Physically and mentally, this goes against everything in your nature. Y'all know, the minute anyone comes for you out of pocket, it's on and popping. It's only in your nature to react. This is how we have all been raised. However, what you must realize is that Jesus was not here to tell you how to live in the material world. All his teachings were to instruct you on how to live from the spiritual world. Now, until that sinks in, you will never truly understand the Bible. I will continue to say this until it gets through, until I turn blue in the face. The Bible is not a history book. It is a book on consciousness. And what most don't understand about Jesus is that he was a master alchemist. He was trying to teach people how to turn lead into gold. In other words, raise your consciousness from lower to higher consciousness. He instructed you to go into the upper room. And the way he tried to teach people was in parables, because he knew that at the current level of consciousness that most people were in those days, it would make it hard for them to understand what he was teaching if he gave it to them literal. Unfortunately, not much has changed in 2025 years since his birth. Sad, but true. This is the thing. If you can grasp the hidden meanings of the scripture's teachings and apply it to your life today, the way you deal with and handle problems will instantly change. And you will find that unpleasant circumstances will melt and go away right before your eyes. What Jesus was teaching in the scripture was the grand secret to success in life. He was teaching you how to dissolve negativity. So the main point in these two verses I want to bring your focus to is the phrase, resist not evil. This small phrase is one of the greatest lessons you can learn when it comes to spirituality. In this text, Jesus shows us that he had a massive intelligence on how the quantum field works and how electromagnetism works. What you must understand is that the real you, the God you, is a small spirit piece of the Creator. You are a being of radiant light consciousness, operating in an electrical magnetic field, wearing a human body. And the thing you have to grasp is, in an electromagnetic field, things are constantly being attracted and repelled at all times, whether day or night. Nothing ever rests in creations. This is the Hermetic law of vibration. So now, knowing this, you must understand that no matter what circumstances look like in the material world, whether good or bad, in the spiritual world, it's nothing but positive and negative energy. And that energy is always reacting to the energy you give off. So when you are faced with a negative situation, a negative neighbor, bad coworker, financial situation, relationships, family members, whatever, those things carry an energetic signature in the spiritual world. And the law in the spiritual world is what you resist, persist. Have you ever noticed what happens when the argument escalates? They say something negative. You respond with negativity and your tone gets louder. They respond louder, and before you know it, you both are shouting at the top of your lungs, ready to solve your problems with violence. This is what happens when you resist evil with evil, when you meet force with force. The moment you resist evil in the spiritual realm, you are actually feeding it more negative energy and infusing it with more power. And on top of that, the power you infuse it with will be used against you. And since you resist it, your spiritual power will be depleted to the exact amount you use. Can you now see how important this simple phrase Jesus uttered is and why it's so important? Jesus tells us in the scripture, resist not evil. In other words, do not give evil power. Stand still and fill out the presence and guidance of divine mind. Psalms 46:10 says, be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. The word heathen means your problems. If you stand still, you will be lifted above your problems. The word earth means material realm. You will be rescued and lifted above any material problems. The only thing you must do first is not give evil your energy. Resist not evil, and your problems will fade away. If you can learn to do this, all friction will leave you without resistance. This is called depolarization. When you take your charge away, the opposite charge decreases exponentially. So instead of reacting, learn to respond. Instead of seeing the bad in people, choose to see the divine light in them. Not everyone is aware that they are children of the Most High, and because of that, it's up to you to choose compassion over friction. It's up to you to choose peace over war, love over hate. And this is the thing about emotions. Look at your emotions like a car. If you don't start the car, it won't turn on. You're in control, and if you learn to stand still instead of reacting, the negative energy will dissipate. Jesus' teachings always addressed your higher consciousness, which is the causal realm. But you cannot see this because you see with your human eyes and not your God eyes. To Jesus, if the thought could be right, then the conduct could not be wrong. Let that sink in. Resist not evil. Thank you, community, for watching. Hey, hit me up in the comments. Tell me what forms of evil that happens in your life is the hardest to resist. I would love to see what you got. And that's your bread for the day. Don't just hear it, use it, practice it, watch it work in your life. Be the change you want to see.